I'm excited to share with you today some simple ways to lose some weight without focusing on workouts and complex diet plans. Let's jump right in. So many people are struggling to drop 10, 15, or 20 pounds these days that it is hard to not get hit in the head with the next fad diet, right? The next amazing pill that you should take. And I am just not a fan of quick fixes when it comes to your health. One thing I know about fad diets or strict starvation methods is that they just don't work. They just put your body under more stress. They make it more difficult for you to lose weight, because they are not sustainable, okay? And I'm sure many of you know that already. So here are some of the steps to get started with intermittent fasting. Intermittent fasting is one of the easiest ways to drop weight, to clean out the brain fog, to just ramp up your metabolism, and to make you feel lean and mean, okay? So the first thing you need to do is start by narrowing your eating window. So I'm going to use an example of someone who normally starts eating at 8 a.m. and maybe stops eating at 8 p.m. So they have a very long eating window. And that's like most Americans who are rushing around, super busy, and they just don't have a lot of time. So they may eat, at 8 a.m., they try to eat lunch at 1, and they don't get to eat until after work. So they're having 3 meals. Maybe they're only having 2, but the point is, if the first meal is at 8 and the last meal is at 8, then that gives you 12 hours where your body is constantly working on food, and it doesn't have enough time to get through the anabolic, the catabolic, the different phases of metabolism and into fat burning. Fat burning is the last phase. So the longer that we stay in a fasted window or a non-eating window, the better it's going to be for our fat loss. So let's start with that example of 8 to 8. So what you're going to do is gradually push your first meal off until 10 a.m. And if you look at some of my other videos, and I'll link the one below where I talk about some strategies that you can use for weight loss. So there are some hacks you can use. So I'm not expecting you to just stop, that breakfast and not do anything and just starve, right? So if you do the apple cider vinegar tonic, this will lower your blood sugar, your cravings will decrease. You could also do green tea. You can do, a black coffee without creamer. You could use MCT oil in there to help increase your ketones. So there's a number of things you could do to allow yourself, right? So you're not going to go from having breakfast at 8 to all of a sudden going, I'm not going to eat till 12. That is a huge stretch for your body. So be kind. Maybe you start with 1 hour a week. But the goal, let's say, for the first 2 weeks is for you to start to not eat until 10. Now, if that doesn't work with your schedule, you could consider trying to move your last meal earlier. So that's another option. You could take your dinner back an hour, and rather than maybe eating from 7 to 8 at night, you could try to eat at 6. Okay, so the idea being that you want to get it down to where you have an eating window of 8 or 9 hours. Okay, and it's a gradual process, so don't beat yourself up and start where you are. But if you have at least 15 hours a day where your body is fasting and you're eating for 9, for example, you will see such an increase in fat burning in your body, clarity, mental clarity, so many things, not to mention that you'll feel your stomach flatten out, because what's happening is you're getting through that anabolic, catabolic metabolism and you're getting into fat burning. Most of us, because of our large eating window, will not get there in a day. So if you look at your entire week, there's no fat burning happening. So as we age, we're going to see that fat come around the middle, okay? So let your body adjust. Perfection is never the goal, and take it a week at a time or 2 weeks at a time with the next level of the goal that you have. So just gradually pushing it out. I was able to go from basically having an 8 to 8 window, actually a 6 to 6 window for me, because I had a job where I had to be at work super early. It can be done. done. And eventually I got to an 18.6 where I just ate at 12 and 6. But it took me time to get there. So again, be patient with yourself. The next item for, fasting for beginners is you have to keep the water flowing, right? You have to keep fluids going. So I definitely recommend that you drink at least 8-ounce glasses of water a day. Of course, this varies based on your height, weight, and physical activity. And putting some fresh lemon, or some doTERRA lemon essential oil, which is approved for internal consumption. Not all essential oils are. So I will put a link in the description box below if you want to try that. It's going to help detoxify your liver, which is going to ramp up your fat burning even more. Okay, liver is a fat burning organ, and if you have fat around your middle, your liver is on the border of being fatty. If you haven't been told that by your doctor, it's probably because they wait until those numbers are really bad and then they tell you. So just to me, the measure is looking at it and saying, wait a minute, I look a little more chubby around the middle, or I have a little more pinching in this area of, when you pinch, how you can feel there's an inch or two, then you definitely have a fatty liver. So start incorporating that lemon in the water right away. It will lower your blood pressure too, naturally, which is a beautiful thing, and that happens really quickly. The next thing is balance the meals that you are eating. So let's say you've worked on it and you have it to where you're just having coffee or tea in the morning, keeping your blood sugar at bay, and then you're just eating at 12 and 6. Okay, that being a goal of having like really great level of fasting and seeing a real difference in your body composition. Those meals have to have protein, fat, vegetables. One could be the bigger meal and the other can be the smaller meal, or you can divide them equally. It's not really important. What's important is that you have those things together. And I talk about this in my other videos as well, that you need protein alongside a healthy fat. If you're eating a pretty fatty protein, okay, you can have maybe a little bit less, but you still need that vegetable. Healthy portions of proteins, fats, and vegetables, okay? And depending on your age, you might have the carbs earlier in the day or later in the day. And that's where, coaching comes in to kind of help guide you with that. Following these guidelines will not only help you to lose weight, but you'll become more mindful too as you reach for food. Because as Americans, we're under so much stress these days that food is a comfort for many of us. We have cultural backgrounds that we grew up with food being the passion of the family. And also too, it's, so as we get older, we look for those comforts and they're not always around in the ways that we want them. So sometimes we are reaching for food, and we can check in with ourselves when we're fasting, right? And we can give ourselves affirmations of why we should continue the fast and say, I'm doing this to clean my body. I'm doing this to increase the power of my metabolism. The body is an amazing thing, and I am supporting it in being well. So we don't have to say these out loud, but we can put it on a Post-it note. We can put it on our phone screen, right? We can give ourselves positive messages instead of, I'm starving, what am I going to do, right? There's things you can do. And these are some of those suggestions. So it helps to shed light on how much better you feel too as you increase that window. So reflecting on that. Terrific app, which I will put in the link below, called Zero. It's kind of a fasting coach. Some of you may have already tried it. There's a free and a paid version, but it has little videos on, keeping you going. It gives you a little text notification about you're now in catabolic, you're now in fat burning, and it's very encouraging. So if that checks in with me and it says you're just entered the fat burning zone, oh boy, I'm going to try and stay in that as long as I possibly can. So I might reach for some electrolytes. I might reach for salt water. Salt water can be taken also to balance things out. Minerals, or like a mineral-based powder that you can take, is also going to help you push the fast even longer. So please let me know if you like this video, if you've tried some of these tips, if they work for you, or if you have any questions. If you know someone who could benefit from starting this intermittent fasting, because perhaps a diet right now or an exercise plan is just not feasible for them. So anyway, I appreciate you watching, and I hope that you will like this video, share it, and subscribe to my channel. And thank you so much for your time. And I will see you. Stay happy and healthy until next time.